Hello everyone, Ceri the Crafter here, that's C-E-R-I the Crafter, and I'm here with my collage book. Now, you haven't seen me work in this since August 2022, and there's a little bit of a story behind that, and I think, you know what, you enjoy seeing me do this, I enjoy doing it, and it's New Year, let's have a new start all over. So, I actually created this page, which I loved and really enjoyed, about the Queen's Jubilee. That was fabulous. Then I went to Chicago in July in 2022, and this is where the shooting happened, and it was 4th of July parade, shooting, mass murder, and it's sort of, I don't know, it just, I did this page and then I sort of closed the book and didn't really feel like going back to it. I don't know why, this sort of shook me up a bit, and I think putting my emotions on this page really didn't do me any good. And when I was planning to do the next page, hence next page, what happened? Her Majesty the Queen died, and I was like, I just, as you know, I admired Queen Elizabeth II, and I, as you saw by the collage page, I like the Queen. I quite like royalty. I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, but it was my cup of tea and I liked it. However, I was just about to start a new page and that happened and it sort of derailed me again. So anyway, about, well, let's see, August, September, October, November, December, January. So about 5 months later, and I've gone, you know what, we need to buckle down and do this. We need to deal with it. And I think the obvious place for me to start is where I finished, which was Her Majesty the Queen. She died, she passed away. We knew it would happen one day. We didn't know when. Obviously, powers that be probably had a better idea than all of us. So what I did is I went through and I got some stamps out, things that I thought I might use, book pages. I pulled out some flowers because basically they were roses and the Queen was an English rose by title by some people. I also went through some of the magazines that came out when her death was there, and I took out some clippings and sayings, and then I just pulled out some background papers as well. So today I'm just going to put this together and we're going to have a chat, and I'm not really sure where I'm going with this. It's probably going to be a little bit like the Jubilee page, but I want to do this just to start this off, and it was just tying the bow then on last year, so I know that it's done and dusted. So first of all, let me just get a bit of a ruler. Get a ruler out. I'm just going to use that for tearing. I just need to get a background down. So I'm going to use images that work for me, basically. Now, I'm not really sure. I don't have a huge plan. As always, I don't have a huge plan of where things are going to go on the page. But actually, that's probably going to go there. It would be better if I'd have torn that straight, and I don't want this whole piece, so let's try and get this down a little bit. Sorry, chatting away to myself as normal. Let's take this one down. I want the word island in it, but I don't need it to be the whole of Ireland in there. Right. So welcome back to my collage book, really. Let's put this one down. Well, it's the biggest piece to deal with, so let's get it on the page. Now, I'm just using a Pritt stick. I usually use this brand. I know other people have brands that they choose and prefer. This is just one that's easily readily available. It's within budget. I find that if I buy it on the internet in boxes of 10, it actually works even cheaper than actually just going to an inexpensive store to buy it. So that's what I do. I tend to buy them in boxes of 10, and I go through quite a bit of glue stick. Now, I'm not going all the way to the edges. I'm going to bring it in just so that it's close to, but doesn't have to be right on mark. And I'm just creating some sort of background. I just want something in here. And I've just pulled these papers out of any books. What I've tried to do with the background is basically Her Majesty dedicated her life to two things: the church and to the realm. Her job was her life. she vowed that she would serve the people until the day she died, and the lady was definitely true to her word. So, right, I did have this image that I quite liked, and that's it's got London bus in it, it's got London cab, and she lived in London. So, although she spent time in Scotland as well. So that's going to go on there. I've just picked eclectic stuff, to be honest with you. I'm not worried that anything is absolutely perfectly on point. If I take the bottom off that, I'll be a little bit happier. So I was actually staying with friends when Her Majesty died. It was, let's see, what was it? We'd been out for the day. I came back. We sat down to have, actually we sat down to have a glass of wine because it was a nice day, and we turned the TV on, and all of a sudden Her Majesty had been announced passed away in Scotland. So we pretty much spent the rest of that day and the next day just watching the television, as I think the entire nation did, just to see what was happening, to see how this would all pan out. Because for a lot of us, I mean, well, basically anyone over 70 years old were the only people who'd ever known anyone other than the Queen. Anyone between 0 and 70 had never known another leader of the realm other than Her Majesty the Queen. So it was a huge turning point, and it felt very peculiar because we didn't really know what to expect. We knew that Prince Charles was in line to the throne. Some people, myself included, wondered if he would actually ascend the throne or decide to step aside in favour for Prince William and Kate Middleton. And some of us thought maybe he might do that to usher in a whole new generation of royalty. But then there were those who thought that he'd waited so long to fulfill the role he was destined to fill that he was right to take the throne. I'm torn. I don't know. I don't actually know how I feel about any of it, to be honest with you. I know the country was very, very rocked by the Queen's death. It was obviously something that we all knew was going to happen one day, but even if you're prepared for it, you're not really prepared for it. And I think that goes for life. I know that, like when my mother passed away, we knew we were on the countdown, but that didn't lessen the blow when it actually happened. And there was a rift in the royal family between Harry and Meghan and William and Kate, so that was an ongoing thing as well. So it was a bit of a funky time, really. I'm just going to stick that in that patch, and then I know that the background's done. Why have I chosen the things I've chosen? The British Isles, United Kingdom, whichever title you call it, UK, Great Britain, United Kingdom, however you label it. This was the seat of Her Majesty the Queen and the royal family. I put this in because it sort of represented, it was the closest I could find to representing Scotland, because Scotland is beautiful mountains, hillsides, snow, open spaces, wilderness, absolutely stunning part of our country. And I love Scotland. I really do love Scotland. So I thought I'd represent that. I put the text in because to me that represents the written word and what was going on at the time. I'm wondering whether I want that at the... I've got this patch and it's going to bother me. I think I'm just going to stick this across there. The written word, the fact that history was being made as we watched. It was one of those events, or is one of those events, that if you were old enough to know what was going on, other than obviously a baby, a small child, it was one of those life-changing moments. And and it's gone down in history, and all the events around it. And we just come out of COVID, the pandemic. They didn't really know how they were going to have people deal with stuff. It was a bit of an odd one. Right, is there anything else? Now, I did pull this out because obviously it's a rose. I did pull out some rose stickers as well. I chose the clear ones because I thought that would be nice to put in. I'm wondering whether I should put them into the background. I think I'd like to, actually. Let's stick this rose down first. Over to this side, I've got a glue book, a pile of glue pages, which I'm just gluing on. Therefore, I don't remember where these came from. I think they were from an old book or something I was working on, and decided to take the book to pieces because it didn't work for me. So, right, if I pop that down there, that'll add a little bit of interest. So, the Queen's death is a few months ago now. However, I don't know how I feel about, have I been affected by King Charles? I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm not really someone who watches the news or events like that. And since he's been on the throne, I don't think I've really seen anything of significance that's caught my attention. It'll be really nice if I get the back of this. The struggle is real, people. The struggle is real. I did these fabulous just the other day. It's because you're watching me, that's what it is. So, I'll put that one down and try another one. So yes, I don't actually know how so far he's affected us. I've seen pictures of him like greeting different heads of state, stuff like that. I mean, but to be honest with you, I think the press has been dominated by the whole Harry and Meghan saga. Let's just zoom my head in now. Right, I'm going to pause you a second while I get the backs off these, because it's because I've got you on screen. That's what it is. I'll get the backs off these and then I'll place them down. So bear with me, I'll be back in 2 seconds. Oh, the irony of it. I put the camera on pause and immediately all the backs came off. So I've just stuck them along there just so you can see where to put the placement. So I've got this one, which is really cream coloured. I've got that down there, so I think this one is going to pop up there. Now I'm not going to put glue behind them because this is not going to see a huge amount of wear and tear, and I think these are sticky enough, as they prove because it wouldn't come off the page, sticky enough for me to actually just put them down. I did want to put this one in the middle because it appealed to me there. Oh, don't mess up on me. There. I just thought I wanted to put something into this that was just delicate, because the Queen loved her gardens, she loved her horses, she loved her subjects, she loved Scotland, she loved lots of stuff. And I thought it'd just be nice just to have something in here, just to hint at the beauty that her gardens have brought, the pleasure the gardens have brought to her. So right, so I've got that all stuck down. Now I think I need to start auditioning pieces on here. Now I have this absolutely glorious picture of Her Majesty that was going to cover up exactly what I've just stuck down there, but there's enough of it. I also felt I needed to put down something of the incoming monarch, which is obviously King Charles. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Something else I wanted to put down here, or there's another piece I wanted to put in. I wonder. I would have put that into the background, right? Let's have a bit of a think again. Right, so I know that that's going there. I think if I just tear around this, obviously one of the royal castles. I think that would work for me. Right, where am I up to? Let's put it to the edge of that. Sorry, absolutely change of heart there. It's because it wasn't focusing. So where was I up to? Yes, so I'm not really sure the effect the king is having currently. I'm not really a person who watches the news unless it's what I would class a world event that I really need to be kept up on. Where do I put my smoother? I tend to just not watch the news. I mean, I think there's enough depressing things in the world as it is without watching the news, which is even more depressing. Now, if there was a channel that only played the good things that happened in a day, I'd probably very often watch that because, I don't know, it tends to depress me slightly, the news I see. It's all the doom and gloom, or someone's died, or a country's been invaded, or we've killed another batch of endangered species, or we've ruined another ocean, or there's just so many things all of the time, and I get a little bit tired of hearing about it, to be honest. Which is probably a bit of a blinkered view, but you know what, I'm going to stick with it. Right, so I've got that on there. Right, I was going to think about putting King Charles in there. I don't know whether I need all of it or whether it's just... Maybe he doesn't need all of that writing there, because I've got writing about the Queen that I'd like to put in instead. So, sorry, Your Majesty, nearly took your ear off. So, I do feel he needs to go somewhere. I want the page to be about Her Majesty. I don't want the page to be about him. Because, yes, he is our reigning monarch, but this was about her day. Let's put him to one side. It may come to me as we work. Okay, the Queen had a great sense of humour, as if any of you have seen the worldwide advertisement that was... What was it for? The Jubilee. The Queen sat down with Paddington Bear and they had a cup of tea, and he produced a marmalade sandwich for under her hat, and I believe the Queen is quoted saying, "Oh, I keep one in my handbag." And she had a great sense of humour, absolutely great sense of humour. So I want to put that, and Paddington Bear became quite a symbol here. When people were laying tributes, there were very often Paddington Bear drawings, Paddington Bear pieces around about her memorial, and I like that. Okay, this is a shot from when the Queen actually was a princess, I believe, and it was wartime, and she served like all of the other royals do. So I'm going to put that in because that's part of her history. Yeah, I don't really know where we're at in the world at the moment. I know that Charles had a lot of interests and supported a lot of causes when he was a prince. But how many of those he's going to be able to support as a king, I do not know, because obviously the protocols for a reigning monarch slightly different to a prince. So, right, let me just put, I don't want to lose that crown because I want to put the crown in there at some point. So, right, I was going to put this into the background, but I think that's too much now. I don't need any more book page. I was going to put some birds in there to represent the countryside. No. I felt like I wanted to put something that was Union Jackish, and I don't think I want to now. I mean, if you don't know who this is, then I don't think a Union Jack is actually going to help you. I do have a few sayings I cut from magazines as well, and dare I say I've got some postage stamps. So I think I want to use these because this was very much a symbol. I think I want to put him down there. So moving forward, I'm going to try and do my collage book. I'd like to say once a month, but I've now upped the amount of videos I'm going to be doing. And you may have noticed if you've been on my on my YouTube channel lately, there's quite a few new playlists I've got going. So it may end up that some of these videos only go out every other month and not every month. I think the Queen's going to go up there, to be honest. And the subjects will be whatever catches my eye, whatever I've just gone through, or it could just be making art, which is basically what everything I do, I would like to think is art, or at least artistic. There you go. So, and thank you for those who have been contacting me in the comments saying, Ceri, we missed the art journaling, we missed the collage work. I miss it as well, but I did feel that I just needed to take a rest from it, and I'm back. Right, I do feel he deserves to be on here. I think by there would be perfect. So yes, it's going to be interesting. It's because a lot of people don't realise a lot of the ramifications of what the Queen's death have meant. All our postage had the Queen on it. Our currency had the Queen on it. Even down to like the uniforms of like the Royal Guard, the Beefeaters, all of that. They had ER on it, and it's no longer Elizabeth. It's now Charles. All of our post boxes had ER on them. That's all now had to change. So it's a case of there are so many different things that you were unaware of. Like, it's like every business out there that was by appointment of Her Majesty lost that status when the Queen died. Now, I believe the King, he's honouring all of those, so their status hasn't really changed, but it could easily have done. Right, I need to work out where these are going. So messages pour in from around the world, remembering the Queen, royals, da-da-da. Okay, right, so that's one. How the spectacular celebrations to mark 70 years. I don't think I want to call this a spectacular celebration. Oh, this one is lovely. The end of 70 glorious years, and I think that's going to go right across there. I do think this needs a bit of a tear off though, because I'm not having that stuck on the end there. So yes, there are so many things. So the Royal Mint will have to, over time, replace all of our currency. The postal system is now having to change all of the postage stamps, although I believe there's more going on there. That I think we're actually going away from stamps to more electronic mailings now, so I don't really want to cover up that castle, but maybe just over there. Sorry, Your Highness, I'm going to pop that right across top of your head. So right, avoid the little crown in there. I need to remember where this needs to go first. Actually, that might be nice down there. So I hope you don't mind me indulging myself with this collage. I just felt that it was a bit of unfinished business from 2022 that I hadn't got around to doing, and I wanted to mark this life-changing event in my collage journal, and this, it needed to be here. Right. This needs a something, doesn't it? I wonder. I'm wondering whether I can just take that London cab out of there. I can't remember what this came from. I think this was an advertisement or something for I don't know. Struggling a bit with that area there. Now I do have postage stamps to go down. Actually, let's do the postage stamps next, because they will make more sense then, I think. Right, I pulled off some that I haven't yet soaked off their backgrounds. So I've got some of those which might be nice. Right, let's put this one down first. I do like that, and I quite like the fact that it's got all of the edges attached to it. God, it seems like ages since I did one of these. Granted, it's, well, I suppose 5 months is ages, isn't it really? It just feels longer. I think I going to pop that in there. I think that will go nicely over there. Hopefully I don't rip off any of the jewels. There you go. I'll tell you, fussy cutting that crown wasn't the easiest of bits. There you go, right. I do think I need a me speak English, me. Let's tip these out so I can actually see them. Because I've got a feeling I'd like to do a certain thing, but I don't know whether I've got all the stamps to do it. So I've got the Silver Jubilee. Silver Jubilee. I wonder whether I've got any other Jubilees in here. That's not even got the Queen on it. That's not her Jubilee. I wonder whether that's Balmoral. I don't know which castle that is, but she does love her castles. Right, let's put that to one side. Sorry, just rambling a little bit here, guys. Just trying to find the right thing. And with everything I do, I never know what the right thing is until I see the right thing. Maybe tear that off there. Actually, that's another castle. Maybe there was a castle series. Right, let's just clear these off because I think I've got... Oh, wow. Coronation of Her Majesty the Queen, 1953. That's what I'm looking for. I think that will go perfectly there. I didn't even know I had that stamp. I think it'd be quite ironic one day if I'm busily sticking stamps down and I find that I've got a stamp that's worth an absolute fortune and I've just stuck it into a collage. Total ignorance on my behalf. Right, so I like that one. The Queen loved her castles. Probably didn't love the heating bill for them, but when you think of royalty, you always think of castles. Well, I do anyway. I mean, there's pomp, there's circumstance, there's everything that goes with it, really. So let's pop this one on here somewhere, and I think we're not a million miles finished, to be honest. I think by there. Not 100% certain. Oh, that's something I was going to talk to you about too. For those of you who like collage, I am going to start a challenge in July. That is the Queen, isn't it? Yes, it is. I'm going to start a challenge in July. Do I want the Silver Jubilee in there? Maybe not. I would like one more stamp though. That's not the right stamp. So I'm going to announce it in July. It's going to be collage based. It's going to be a monthly challenge, so it's not going to be a very hard one as far as managing your time and your efforts. It's one I'm looking forward to doing myself. I have been in conversation with Marguerite Miller about the idea because Marguerite does challenges, and I just wanted a bit of her feedback, actually. I just wanted to see how maybe she was about all of this, right? And she said, yes, go for it. Do it. So I'm feeling that's the wrong colour blue. I keep being drawn back to a red stamp. But that's the wrong place for it. How many stamps have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4. I do need another stamp. I don't want a red one. Oh, there you go. There's a pretty one. One of the old 3p ones. Well, 3 pennies it wasn't, not 3 pence. We used to call them threepence. So, it's a long time since a stamp was threepence, I can tell you. Right, let's pop you in there at the junction of that. And I think we're going to call it done. I'm glad I did that. God bless you, Mum, and everything about you. I'm very happy to have lived in your reign. So there you go, guys. That's my, not memorial, but marking the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. As you all know, one of my bucket list wishes was to meet Her Majesty. That's never going to happen now. Never going to happen. So there you go. So it was an absolute honour. So there you go, guys. So that's my collage art book again. As I said, I will try to do more as I go forward. I just don't know how regular they're going to be. They're just going to happen when they happen. I'm wondering. So I've just seen a patch here, and I quite like to. I don't know why I'm obsessed with this London piece. I think if I just take that. Sorry, famous last words, isn't it? I'm done and dusted, and then I pick up another piece. I think I just want something that represents London in here. I do think I want that in there. I know it's only a really little tiny piece, but to me this is a glaring space that needs something. So let's just pop this little one in here. I mean, it may be seen, it may not be seen, but I'll know it's there. And that will represent London, her home. So, okay, guys, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed that. We'll be going forward and doing more as we go along. I've got enough pages to do in this book, so one day it'll be complete. Be interesting to flick back through this one, actually. There's lots of stories and memories in here, and I think that's one of the reasons I like collage. It marks memories. It gives me reasons to remember things. So looking forward to this. Okay, right, I'm done and dusted, guys. So until next time, I'm Ceri the Crafter, and that's Ceri the Crafter. Bye-bye now.